My name is Andrew, and I'm a rising sophomore at Lindbergh High School. So my main project is the Third Eye for the Blind, which is basically a project where when an object comes closer to the ultrasonic sensor, there's a piezo buzzer that beeps faster when the object comes closer. I chose this project because, well, looking through it in the project book, I thought it looked very interesting, and at the same time, it was able to help people. So here's a demo. That was the beeping, and I had a switch for it to switch to vibration. And you can't really hear the vibration that well, but I can assure you that I can feel it in my hand. And then you can also see right there, that's the vibration motor vibrating. How does this project work? So I'll start off with the ultrasonic sensor. The ultrasonic sensor has 4 pins, 2 are for power and 2 are echo and trig. The ultrasonic sensor basically sends out pulses of sound waves, and there's a function in my code that can determine the time it takes for the sound waves to travel to the object, bounce back, and back to the ultrasonic sensor. So then in my code, I multiply that by the speed of sound and divided it by 2 to find the one-way distance of the object. And I stored that into the distance variable. So then in the piezo buzzer and the vibration motor, that was pretty convenient because both of them use the same tone and no tone functions for it to work. And so then that allowed me just to use the same code loop. That was very convenient. And also for the piezo buzzer, I used a potentiometer, which is basically acting as a resistor as well. The thing about the potentiometer is that there's a knob that can alter the resistance levels. So basically, it alters the voltage that goes into the piezo buzzer, and then that allows for the user to adjust the volume. So that's very convenient if the user wants to make it louder or softer. So basically, and then for the switch is a very simple switch which switches between the vibration motor and the piezo buzzer. It's 3-pronged, and based on which direction the switch is turned, those 2 prongs are enabled and the other one is disabled. So that means the middle prong is always enabled. That's why my middle prong was my power source, and on either side, one was the buzzer and one was the vibration motor. So you can see here, my switch is pulled this side, that means this circuit is working. And then if I put the switch this side, this circuit works. So one of my biggest challenges was soldering. So starting off soldering, I tried soldering everything onto the same perf board, and that didn't really work out well because the ultrasonic sensor required lots of long bridges close to each other, and I just couldn't manage that with the soldering iron that I had. And basically the bridges were pretty messy and the bridges crossed over a lot. So basically that didn't work at all. So I had to restart. And also while I was trying to fix the bridges, the switch melted. So that wasn't convenient. So so then I restarted with a different perf board and didn't solder the ultrasonic sensor on it. I just connected that straight into the Arduino. So you can see the ultrasonic sensors here. The 4 wires go here and here. That made it that made it much easier for me because my switch circuit was easy soldered when I used wires and short bridges, and I kept it organized. Um, and also, towards the end, one super annoying challenge was that the wires kept breaking off, and I had to like unsew it, resolder it, and sew it back on. And so that wasn't really convenient, but I got there at the end. I think in the future, one of the modifications or a few modifications I could have is a color sensor, which basically lets the user know what color the object is, or it can have a GPS, which which just lets the user know like the coordinates and what city they're in. That could be useful for some future modification. Overall, I thought these 3 weeks in Bluestamp were really fun, and I learned many things such as like how circuits work, how Arduino work, and soldering. And like not only like engineering wise, I also learned a couple important life lessons. Like I have to always persevere through things. Like through here, I had a couple really challenging roadblocks that I persevered through and eventually overcame. And also independence, like also the importance of independence. Like, also through these roadblocks, I had to stay independent most of the time, look things up myself because in real life, you're not always going to have someone there for you. So thank you and